think at one time or another we've all questioned as to whether all that we see and are experiencing in our world has some sort of a rational plan behind it, because we understand now that both the Republican and the Democratic Party in our country are basically run by the same people. The same money finances both sides. We now know, of course, through the work of many historians who have spent their life working on research to show us that both sides of world conflicts have always been financed by the same people. And as I've said before, there seems to be a method to the madness going on in the world. We know, of course, that we cannot depend on our leaders. Our leaders are misleaders. There is a science that they're following. They have their own agenda, and it doesn't include you. Conflicts require money and corporation. World conflicts require world banks, International Monetary Fund. Professional groups all have fraternal orders. Doctors, attorneys, etc. have their own specific fraternal orders. In the banking world, it is the same way. They have a fraternal order. In politics, there is a fraternal order. However, we're not supposed to know anything about that because that's not our business. That fraternal order in politics and banking has been known for many years by those in the inside. It has been referred to by different names, different times, in different countries. The best overall name that we can give to this fraternal order, which is running our country, politics, monetary, is Freemasonry. Our country, like so many before us, and like so many after us, was in fact founded by Freemasons. Freemasonry has played a part in almost every government ever founded in this world. It is in operation today throughout the world. We want to establish first that what we're not talking about is blue masonry or the Masonic lodges in your hometown. We're not talking about the Freemasons that live across the street from you. We're talking about a worldwide fraternal organization that is powerful enough, old enough, and wise enough to operate behind all governments in the world, behind fraternal institutions, monetary systems in the world. You might want to ask yourself some very important questions about this point. The idea that our country was founded by so many Freemasons and Rosicrucians, among others, and yes, they are in fact connected.
Realize, of course, Art, that this is a war for the human soul. This is not a war for some petty scientific definition. This is a war for the question of what we are and what our place is in the universe. It's a war of paradigm between a view that sees us as the center of creation with nothing else outside us, and a view that sees the universe as filled with life. There's a fundamental issue in society here which is underlined by this debate. And it's inevitable, since the stakes are so high, since the stakes are our own understanding of what we are, it's inevitable that that war, unfortunately, should be fairly bloody, with neither side taking any prisoners. And as they say, and have said for a long time, the first casualty of war is the truth.
And that is that man has been around before, that our origins may not be what we think they are. All over the world, we are making discoveries that suggest all the timelines we thought were right are wrong. But Graham, can the world accept, will the world accept that, or do you think that it ought to be kept secret?
I'll tell you, the bottom line for me, Art, is I believe that this wonderful planet that we live on is in enormous danger. We are in clear and present danger. And yet it is a danger which it is possible for mankind to avert. But if we're going to avert this danger, we need a complete change of heart, a complete change of attitude. Ours is a species that has become immersed to an appalling degree in materialism and in a kind of wicked violence during the course of this century. And accompanying that wicked violence has been a closure of mind to all that cannot be immediately weighed and measured and empirically tested.
Yes.
And it's the reverse side of the coin that leads to the blind, horrific violence of which our species is so careful. And because it has led us to be closed-minded and blind, it causes us to ignore the danger that confronts us, and it causes us to ignore the advice and the warnings of the ancients on this matter. It's as though we've deliberately cut off our entire heritage as a species beyond the last 2,000 or 3,000 years when things have been written down. Everything before that is just considered to be irrelevant to us. And yet what we have there is the accumulated advice of our ancestors, who undoubtedly experienced cataclysmic events before, particularly at the end of the last ice age. And because of the state of mind that we're plunged in today, we're ignoring that. And if we continue to ignore it, I'm convinced that we're going to pay a terrible price, and that in the language of ancient mythology, that the gods will once again punish us for our arrogance and our cruelty.
Nation, I'm an anti-government guy.
God, please help me. I'm so tired. I need my sleep. I make no bones about it. I need 8 hours a day and about 10 at night, and I'm good. But I am so tired of traveling. I'm so sick of sitting in airport terminals, sitting on runways, on planes that won't take off. Every time I see a hijacking on the news now, I just think to myself, do it, do it, do it, go for it. I understand. I'm behind you 100%, because I have thought about doing that. Putting a gun to that pilot's head and saying, this is a hijacking. Now you get this motherfucking plane off the ground now. Where do you want to go? Cuba? Libya? Palestine? No? I just want to go where this plane was supposed to be 5 hours ago. That's right. I'm hijacking this plane to Nashville. What a bummer at the end of all these hours of waiting that my ultimate destination is towns like Nashville or Baton Rouge. I feel like a UFO. Because just like UFOs, I too am appearing in obscure southern towns in front of handfuls of hillbillies. And just like UFOs, these hillbillies find me equally incomprehensible.
Yeah! How about a nice round of applause for Mr. Bill Hicks?
Yeah, I've noticed a certain anti-intellectualism going around this country, man, ever since around 1980. Coincidentally enough. I was in Nashville, Tennessee last week, and after the show I went to a Waffle House, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm eating and I'm reading a book. I don't know anybody, I'm alone. I'm eating and I'm reading a book. And this waitress comes over to me. What you reading for? I said, wow, I've never been asked that. Not what am I reading, but what am I reading for? Well, God damn it, you stumped me. I guess I read for a lot of reasons, but the main one is so I don't end up being a fucking waffle waitress. Yeah, that'd be real high on the list. Then this trucker in the next booth gets up, stands over me and goes, well, Looks like we got ourselves a reader. Oh, what the fuck's going on? Like I walked into a Klan rally in a Boy George costume or something. Am I stepping out of some intellectual closet here? I read. There, I said it. I feel better. That's called logic. It'll help you. George Bush says we are losing the war on drugs. Well, you know what that implies? There's a war going on, and people on drugs are winning it. Ah! Well, what does that tell you about drugs? Some smart, creative motherfuckers on that side. They're winning a war and they're fucked up. A lot of y'all don't even know you're fighting, do you? You're sitting there going, fuck, I'm watching Saturday Night Live. Are we winning? I feel like my flank is covered. Honey, bring me a beer. Got a war to win. Fucking war is that?
I don't think so.
You know, the war on drugs is hypocrisy, man. That's why it's not going to work. It's fucking a lie. Alcohol and cigarettes kills more people than crack, coke, and heroin combined. So the war on drugs is really sort of a cocksuck, isn't it? You alcoholics are going, shit, we're next. If they're fighting drugs, we can be taken. Drug guys are creative motherfuckers. We're just obnoxious, man. We're fucking out there. Hey, here comes the fight. You know the problem with the war on drugs is they lump all drugs together. You know what I mean? Pot and crack. And they're not the same. Not only do I think pot should be legalized, I think it should be mandatory. Think about it. You get in traffic behind somebody. Shut up and smoke that. It's the law. Oh, sorry, I was taking life seriously. Oh, shit, I'm sorry about all that noise. I thought it mattered. Oh, shit, who's hungry? That'd be a nice world, wouldn't it? Mellow, hungry, fucked up people everywhere. Domino's pizza trucks passing each other on every highway. Parades of Domino's. Let them get stuck in traffic. All our pizzas will be free. The war on drugs. You know, it's wild. You never see a positive drug story on the news, do you? You ever seen one? Isn't that weird? Don't you think that's strange? I mean, the news is supposed to be objective, isn't it? It's supposed to be the news. But every drug story is negative? Well, hold it. I've had some killer times on drugs. I'm not promoting it, but I'm not denying it. Let's hear the whole fucking story. Same LSD story every time. We've all heard it. Young man on acid thought he could fly, jumped out of a building. What a tragedy. What a dick. Don't go blaming acid on this fucking guy. Hey, if he thought he could fly, let him take off from the ground and check it out first. Fuck it. He's an idiot. He's dead. Good. You don't see ducks lined up to catch elevators to fly north, do you? No, they fly from the fucking ground. The guy was a moron. He's dead. Good. No tragedy. You mean there's one less idiot in the world? Woo, how am I going to sleep through the night? Why so down, Bill? We're missing a moron.